My name is Alex Lyon and I'm here to provide professional development tips for your very next meeting. Today we're going to answer a question from a friend of mine. I was telling him about the channel and he asked me a question, and his question was this: how should I approach a situation where somebody is not doing a good job? From Tim. Tim is a relatively new supervisor. He's going into a situation where people are just going to start getting to know him, and he wants to know, he's already anticipating, I think quite wisely, that he's going to have to give corrective feedback at times. And so I'll give his advice to him through this video. The first thing you want to do is set really clear expectations. The second thing you want to do is meet regularly to have those conversations. And the third thing you want to do is give your feedback in as supportive a way possible. So the first thing is to set really high, clear targets and expectations. I always hated it, for example, when I would get a job and then I would get reviewed like a year later, and then I would finally figure out what the criteria was. I'd be like, oh, well, had I known that this is how you're evaluating me, then I would have been going for this. You should have told me up front. And I think a lot of organizations miss the boat in this way. So for people like Tim, you want to make sure everybody knows exactly what it takes to succeed on that team. The second thing you want to do is set up regular meetings so that you're always talking about these expectations. Every 2 weeks is a really good goal. You could meet a little more or a little less, but that's a pretty good starting place. And I think you should meet with everybody, not just this one person. And in those meetings, let the other person talk about what they think they're doing well and what they think they need work on, and then you can chime in about what you think they're doing well and be really concrete. If they just come out of the meeting feeling like they have weaknesses and development areas, but they don't have anything to do with those, they don't have a course of action, they're just going to be bummed out. They're not going to feel like they can really make improvements. They'll just be aware of their weaknesses. Well, that's one step, but you want to give them some concrete ways to move forward. And then the last part is you can do all of this in the most supportive way possible. You don't have to be hard-nosed and mean about feedback, especially with the younger generation of workers coming out. They expect you to be polite and nice and respectful to them and supportive. And I think we all could do with that kind of feedback. So that's my advice to Tim. Maybe you have advice for Tim. Go ahead and post comments or questions below about what your thoughts are on how to get feedback, especially when someone's not doing a good job. And Tim's a new person, a new supervisor, so it's a little easier for him because he gets to set the tone. How would you suggest weaving these ideas in, or your own ideas in, when you're already established and you have someone who's not quite a strong performer yet? How could you help coach them up? I created Communication Coach to help people like Tim, to help people like you, rising leaders who want to do a better job, especially in the area of communication and leadership skills. So if you're interested in ongoing feedback and tips and content in this area, then go ahead and click the subscribe button and start checking it out. So thanks, God bless, and I hope you get to use this tip at your very next meeting.